What's going on? I hope you're doing well. This is going to be more of an analysis video. Today, I'm going to be comparing the Kinks version of You Really Got Me versus the Van Halen version. I am a little bit biased because I love Eddie Van Halen. He's one of my favorite guitarists, so obviously I'm kind of like, I'm a little biased towards Van Halen. But I am going to do my best to just objectively go through what the differences are. I might throw in what my preference is as far as what I personally liked better, but I always want to preface with the fact that this is all my opinion and you are welcome to have your own personal opinion as always. And at the end of the day, this is art and art is subjective. Let me know what you guys think of the differences as well. I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are too. So we're going to do the Kinks first, and then we're going to do the Van Halen version after. So we're just going to listen to them back to back, and then I'll compare both of them.
So I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know where I'm going, yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. Oh, you really got me. Oh, you really got me.
Okay, the Kinks version came out in 1964, and let me see, Van Halen, 78. More than 10 years difference as far as recordings go. Obviously, you can hear the difference in tone as far as, a lot of it I think is just the advancement in those 10 years from the recording equipment, the sound equipment. That includes microphones, recording, all of that. The modernization in those 10 years. Guitar tones, Eddie Van Halen was a pioneer as the modern sound of guitar tones. Van Halen does have a lot of their songs tuned down a half step, so they are tuned down a half step in comparison to the Kinks version. One of the biggest differences to me is Eddie Van Halen's parts. The Kinks version is more sparse, right? It's really just the main riff, the two power chords, and there's nothing in between, really. So they're just doing the basic guitar part, the basic bass part, or not the basic, but the original bass part, the original guitar part, and then the singer and the drums, right? And the Van Halen version, there's more like sprinkles of fills and things between those spaces. So they're filling in those gaps. I also believe riff-wise, in the Kinks version, you go 3rd fret power chord, the G up to the A. This is all on the 6th string, right? The Van Halen version, I believe, this is from my experience, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm pretty sure is how he plays it, is he plays just the 3rd fret, just that G note, bends it a little bit, and then he uses that open 5th string power chord for the A instead of going up to the 5th fret on the 6th string. So that is a difference. It does add a little bit of difference in tone as well. The more open A power chord, you can really tell it's a little bit more open. And then the G is not really a power chord. It's just a little bit of a bend. So that also adds a little bit more flair to that riff as well. It's his own touch, his own touch to the cover. But I will note the backing vocals throughout this section, especially in the chorus, they're pretty much the same as the Kinks version. So it's interesting that they really just kept the same backing vocals as far as the chorus goes. That's really cool though. So Van Halen just adds a little bit more flair, and David Lee Roth, obviously he's doing his little vocal tricks and things as well kind of throughout. And let's go into the next section.
Don't ever set me free. I always wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me.
Please don't ever let me be. I only wanna be by your side. Please don't ever let me be. I only wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. Got me so I can sleep that night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. Oh no, no.
The sections, the length, the chords, they're all the same. In this context, it's good that they stayed true to really the form of the song. As far as instrumentation goes, one difference that I did notice, the Kinks version had piano in it. The piano was just playing eighth notes. It does just add a little bit of extra texture and a little extra sound, which actually Van Halen did not add, which is very interesting because I know Eddie Van Halen plays piano, so it's fascinating that they didn't choose to add the piano as the Kinks did. I like the energy that is matched between both versions at the end where they're about to go into the guitar solo. They're kind of just making random noises and screams and whatnot. Yeah, and then it just leads into a solo for both of them. So I think that's really cool. They're very similar, but Van Halen just adds a little bit of their own flair and their, what their signature sounds are. So let's go into the solo and then out. We're just going to listen to both.
See, don't ever set me free. I always wanna be by your side. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me.
Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Girl, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know where I'm going. Yeah. Oh yeah, you really got me now. Got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me. Oh, oh, oh.
There we go. Yeah, so I'd say the biggest difference between the two versions is the guitar solo, the guitar parts in general, but definitely the solo and that little interlude after the solo before the final verse. Personally, I mean, I am more biased towards Eddie Van Halen, but I do like his solo better. Obviously, he's a pioneer in the field of guitar playing. So he really makes a stamp on his own sound and what he does, especially the tapping that he uses here as well. It's just more dramatic, I'd say, as far as the soloing goes. You know, there's lots of tapping, a lot more notes. There's more moving around the fretboard up and down. There's also just bigger bends. His whole signature as far as guitar soloing is just being super extra with it. And so, you know, he does exactly that. And the Kinks version is more conservative as far as the playing goes. It's more just the blues pentatonic scale and really just staying within the notes and playing the notes, a few bends and some double stops as well. The interlude after the solo is interesting because the Kinks version, the guitar just plays the riff essentially with the drums and that's about it. And then it just goes straight into the verse. So you kind of know the verse is coming. Whereas the Van Halen version, everything drops out. There's drums and then David Lee Roth's like squeaking thing, like his a bunch of squeaks, you know, and like really not much else. It's interesting because then he goes into the verse without any sort of backup from the guitar or the bass. It's just drums still. And it reminds me a lot of a Led Zeppelin song that I can't think of the name of right now for some reason, where they're doing kind of the same thing where it's just drums and then vocals and that's it. I will mention the song in text because for some reason I can't remember it, but it reminds me a lot of that song where it's just everything drops out except really the drums and like random noises from the vocalist, which I think is really cool. And I don't know if they did it on purpose, but it seems like a little bit of a tribute to Zeppelin as well. And then it goes into the verse and then goes out and they use that same rhythm. It's the same rhythm as the Kinks. I really like that they use the same rhythmic cadence out of the song. I think it's a good cover of the song because Van Halen adds their own flair to it, but it's not too different from the original spirit of the song to where it like feels like an entirely different song. They did also add the 7-sharp-9 chord at the end, Van Halen, so it sounds a little more bluesy. They did that 7-sharp-9 instead of just the straight power chord at the end. So I actually really like that sound. You know, I don't know, I grew up doing classic rock and blues, so I like that ending chord a lot in the Van Halen version. So I also think that's another, they add their own flair type of thing. And of course, you know, Eddie Van Halen ends with a little ripping solo and riffing around at the end. And it's definitely a very characteristic cover for them. It's very in the spirit of who they were as far as a band and what their sound was. But I think it was a really good tribute to the original song. And I like both of the songs. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. If you have a preference of which version you like better, let me know. I'd be interested to hear. And I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you have a good week. Have a good one.